Hello, everyone. My name is Derek P. Fields. Welcome to the Gridiron Blitz, where we talk all things Detroit Lions and then some. I would like to give a special shout out to the Detroit Sports Alliance. Be sure to check the link in the description for all of our information, where we bring fair, unbiased, positive media to the city of Detroit. Unlike these guys, that brings me to today's video. This video we're going to take a look at a clip from yesterday or Monday, Tuesday, one of those days. It's got Sean Windsor, Dave Burkett, and Carlos Menards, which are three writers for the Detroit Free Press. And what I want you guys to do as we start this new segment, you decide. I want you to decide whether they are being positive or they're bringing negativity on the sly. I will definitely tell you my thoughts after the video. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video to hear my thoughts on what these guys are doing. But please, please, please leave it in the comments below as to what you think these guys are doing. So you got Sean Windsor on the right, Dave Burkett in the middle, and Carlos Menards to the far right. Let's get this thing started. Let's go.
OTA's the first access that we got this spring, so we got to see an entire practice. And I'll tell you what, we'll get to everybody's thoughts from what we saw on the field in a second, but first thing is first. Matthew Stafford spoke today. Really his first public comments. I know he did a little radio hit the other day, but it's good. I mean, it seems like the most difficult part of his offseason is behind him. Obviously, Kelly Stafford, his wife, had brain surgery. She's still recovering from that. But Matthew's out here. He said it helps him to be out here on the field, to be able to immerse himself in football a little bit. And obviously the most important thing in his life is her, and was making sure that she was healthy. So it's good to see him, I guess, get back to normal and get back to being a quarterback that like everybody expects of him out there.
Right, and he talked about obviously getting the blessing from his wife to be here. And another thing I thought was interesting, he said she
kicked him out of the house.
Get to work, go do your thing, because she had her family, her mother, I guess, was here for a month, etc. He talked about, though, which I thought was interesting, the new offense. That was actually a good thing because it gave him even more to study and to kind of throw himself in and, focus away from home a little bit.
I think, anytime, look, we don't know exactly what he dealt with, but anytime you have, personal life takes that's the number one priority. And anytime you have to, sort of immerse yourself in that, it's good to have something that you can get away from, a hobby, just something, just anything to take your mind off the real world for some time. And football seems like it's been it for Matthew. He seemed like he was in a good state for the 10 or 12 minutes that we got to talk to him today.
For you and I, it's Carlos. He takes us away, so take it away.
Yeah, I only dropped in at the very end. I just heard I thought that was interesting too about the difficulty, not the difficult, the challenge. I want to use the wrong word. Of the playbook and Darrell Bevel's offense, and what one word used to mean something, and all the verbiage and all that stuff. So yeah, that is good to have that challenge, that distraction sometimes. I don't know, it's interesting, it's different. I mean, I don't know if when you guys have had personal issues and things, but like for me, that's a big distraction in my life whenever something's going on, health issues with my family or my friends, whatever. It's harder for me to focus. I mean, I find my thoughts going back to that problem more often. And I think you asked him, someone asked him.
Yeah, no.
And someone asked him about, like, did you ever find your mind drifting back to that? And he said he's got to be locked in when he's out here, or else it's going to be. So, I don't know. We don't play quarterback in the NFL, so it's different. But, yeah, out here, I think, and they're not out here very long, a couple hours. So,
well, a couple hours supervised, but he obviously put in some time, like he sort of alluded to before and after hours, just trying to stay abreast of the offense while he was still dealing with everything at home.
Oh, and I can relate to what you're saying, Carlos, for sure. Sometimes it is hard to focus. You not so much, but it's a little more creative for you and I. And Dave, it's a little bit more robotic. So I guess I can understand
machine.
That. Yeah, exactly.
Well, look, I think
plug yourself in and off you go.
As we told Matthew, I think everyone is happy that things seem to be trending in the right direction, and prayers continue to be with Kelly, and obviously we hope that she has a full recovery and that the worst of it is behind the entire staff.
Can I ask you one question? Both of you actually is if Stafford struggles a little bit, is it going to be one understandable? Two, is it going to be hard to criticize him as openly as we might have?
No, I don't think so. I mean, look, it's again, you have to separate the the person from the problem, right? I mean, you're not criticizing Matthew Stafford necessarily, or saying he didn't put his time in or anything like that. I think if he plays poorly, you say, look, he played poorly that game. He had 3 interceptions, or you find out what the root of the problem was, and I think he obviously didn't have his best season last year, and that was for other reasons. And so I don't think so. I think you can separate. I don't think it's not of a personal nature on any level. So I don't think that would impact our jobs. And frankly, I don't think this will. By the time the season gets here, it'll be 5 months later. Again, who knows exactly what Kelly will be dealing with at the time. But I think you sort of separate the football from the personal side of things.
I agree, unless something changes.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
But if he
God
struggles,
forbid, but if something were to change, then I think it's just human nature.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
we're always looking for reasons of why things happen, right? We're always asking about the why. So it could be the new offense, but it'd be fair to wonder, wouldn't it, to see he's human. I mean,
I think
things on his mind.
I think it would be fair to ask him that question and see what he says. I mean, if he were to admit that would be part of the issue. I mean, certainly you cut somebody some slack for things going on in their personal life, or we realize that, or we should at least, that football players, athletes, whatever the case may be, that everyone is human, and that you have some of these sort of off-field issues that you deal with, and most of them, frankly, we don't know about. I mean, guys, they have marital problems, or problems with their kids, or health problems in their families that a lot of times people don't know about. Right? Absolutely, that just like the three of us and everyone out there watching, that impacts the way you go about day-to-day life, and I don't think it's any different for football players. And like you said, if something, God forbid, were to, go on again this fall, I think, yes, he deserves to be cut some slack for any sort of, on-field problems he may encounter.
I'm not sure if that's what you were trying to say, that he does deserve to be cut some slack.
I'm just wondering if people would cut him, whether it's us or fans or whatever, you'd have to take that into consideration of, there's things going on that we don't know about. Certainly we know that Kelly is dealing with this. It's not going to be like, hey, she just magically, it's going to take a while probably.
Can I just say, I'm proud of you. You're showing a sensitive side, and
he's
talking
human?
to me. Yeah, you're human. This is
he's
exactly.
Human,
no, I need a box of Kleenex, actually.
A lot of time ahead to sort through some of those things. Couple news and notes for the day, and this sort of goes to the point of the people that were here, the people that weren't. What are we worried about? No Darius Slade, no Damon Harrison today. Weren't here yesterday. Look, OTAs, voluntary. Let's throw that out. Right, these guys are not holding out. It's well within their right to not be here, but it's also 2 of your best defensive players who aren't here, and 2 guys who. I think if you caught them in a truthful moment, they both tell you that they want and think they deserve new contracts, and they both have 2 years left on their deals. So I don't know how this is going to play out for the Lions. Same agent. We'll see what shakes down. But look, if you're looking for things to wonder or worry about at this point in time, that's 2 pretty big players who aren't here, who aren't around for this part of the offseason. And then look, no Marvin Jones, no Kenny Galladay. I mean, they were taking part in the rehab group. Not a big issue, but looking at some of the personnel out there for the Lions, no Justin Coleman. You're sort of looking and you're saying, T. Stabor's running with the ones here, and what's this wide receiver, rotation going to look like? And so I think we still have a lot of time to get to that point. Couldn't quite tell a lot about what this offense is going to look like just by watching this practice.
Carlos is excited. He's thinking 3 or 4 wins.
Oh yeah. In September alone. I think, isn't that a good thing though, that they're not pushing these guys?
Oh, absolutely.
It's
not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying you can't get much of a. People want to know out there
there's no tackling, there's no touching,
yeah,
there's no. This is about as much as they pushed each other today. No contact, so it's. It's a little bit.
We'll see, though. I mean, look, Marv had surgery in December, so we're talking 6 months later here, and he's in the rehab group. And again, good to be patient with him, good to bring him along slowly. But
are you a doctor now?
Yeah,
but it's not. I mean, we know that, right? It's not a deep receiving core. It's not a deep.
Some of the concerns that we had going into the season remain concerns after watching one practice.
So nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. They are who we thought they were.
So 6 wins next fall?
I think I had them at 7. And,
7 for you, and what for you? 3, 4?
No, we'll see. I mean, look, it's super early. We got to see how injuries shake out. We got to see what happens, and we got to see, frankly, to your point about Patricia, just how the locker room sort of responds. I mean, we all know what to expect. They know what to expect now. The running, the doing push-ups after the last rep of a drill like they did today. The side that lost. So, there's there's a lot still to digest here over the next couple months. And as always, these guys will be here to bring out your
Man, oh man. So you guys decide, was the Detroit Free Press media, were they bringing heat, or were they actually being sympathetic, or were they bringing negativity? Now, in my opinion, these guys are some clowns. I don't know them personally. I don't like to speak on people I don't know. However, Carlos Menards, I really don't believe there was any sensitivity to this guy. He was actually trying to make it seem like, well, when Matthew Stafford fails, if Matthew Stafford fails, does he get a pass from us? Does he get a pass from the fans? Does he get a pass from the sports media? Also, at the very end there, if you notice what they did with the Damon Harrison and Darius Slay, they said at the beginning that these were OTAs voluntary, that there was no need for them to be there. However, with the contract concerns of the two gentlemen, in my opinion, this is before the tweet from Slay came out. They're trying to provoke negativity. Now, could Damon Harrison and Darius Slay want new contracts? Absolutely. Why wouldn't they? Is that why they didn't come to OTAs? You don't know, but they said if they were to give you the truth, they would say that they wanted new contracts, trying to allude to that maybe that's a possibility as to why they did not show up to organize team activities. So anyway, guys, my name is Derek P. Fields. This is the Gridiron Blitz. Thank you so much for watching. I do apologize for the audio of the video, but that is how the audio in their recording came out. Not very good sound. You think they can get a boom arm or lapel mics or something. Anyway, I will put the full video in the description. It's about a 17-minute video. You can watch it on the Free Press website. So anyway, guys, be sure to check out the description for the rest of the Detroit Sports Alliance, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.